All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're looking at IT project success, specifically looking at the leadership angle.
Right.
And we're taking all this from a great article by 𝗂𝗏 called Leadership Secrets for IT Project Success. User needs.
User needs, absolutely.
So, this is something that's really important to me.
Yeah, for sure.
I've seen projects
Go off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go off the rails in so many ways.
Of course. And it can be so painful.
It can be so painful and expensive.
Oh my gosh.
Especially when it comes to IT projects.
Yeah. And I think the thing that 𝗂𝗏 really hits on is that the biggest risk isn't the technology itself.
Right.
It's the people.
The people, yeah.
And how those people work together.
And that's something that, we kind of take for granted.
I think so.
We think, oh, we have the best technology.
Right.
We have the best developers.
We have the best equipment, the best software.
We're good.
Yeah.
But it's like...
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
I think one of the best examples of that is...
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
healthcare.gov.
Healthcare.gov.
Back in 2013.
Right.
I mean, what a mess that was.
Total disaster.
Yeah, just a complete disaster. And it was all over the news.
Right. Front page news for weeks, it felt like.
Yeah. And it just really highlighted...
I think it really exposed the importance of leadership.
Yeah.
Because when you think about what went wrong, I mean, obviously there were technical issues.
Yeah.
But the core of it was a failure to understand user needs.
Yeah.
And to communicate effectively and to be adaptable.
And it was just such a missed opportunity because the goal of the project was so important.
It was a noble goal.
Yeah, it was. And it just shows how, even with the best intentions, things can really go south if the leadership isn't there.
If you don't have the right leadership.
So 𝗂𝗏 goes on to highlight these 5 key leadership tactics. And I think this is where the article really shines.
I agree. Let's get into those.
Because it's not just theory, right? Actionable advice.
Totally.
So the first tactic is empower teams with a clear vision.
And this might seem obvious.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how often projects lack a clear vision.
Right.
And what happens is you end up with scope creep.
Scope creep. I hate that.
Oh, yeah. It's a killer. It's where the project just keeps expanding and expanding.
And then all of a sudden your budget's blown and your timeline's out the window.
Exactly.
So how do you avoid that?
Well, one really important thing is to involve the end users early on.
Okay.
Like from the very beginning.
Okay.
You need to understand their needs, their pain points.
Right.
And make sure the vision is actually aligned with what they're trying to achieve.
So don't just assume you know what they want.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
That makes sense.
You have to bring them into the conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
So the second tactic is communicate transparently. This feels like kind of a no-brainer.
It does, but again, you'd be surprised how often communication breaks down in projects.
Yeah, for sure.
And this is about more than just sending out status updates.
Right.
It's about creating a culture of open and honest communication.
So everyone feels comfortable sharing information.
Exactly, and raising concerns.
And raising concerns.
Because if people don't feel safe speaking up, then problems can fester and grow.
Absolutely, and then they explode.
They sure do.
And then you've got a bigger mess on your hands.
Absolutely. So the third tactic, this is a big one.
What is it?
Adapt with agility.
Ah, agility.
Yeah.
The buzzword of the century.
It kind of is, but it's more than just a buzzword.
Right.
It's a necessity.
Because
things change so rapidly.
Especially in tech.
Right, especially in the IT world.
So how do you do that? How do you adapt?
Well, you have to be willing to adjust your plans as you go to experiment, to learn from your mistakes.
And to be open to feedback.
Yes, absolutely.
From the users.
And from your team members.
So it's kind of like, you're on this journey.
Yes.
And the path might not always be straight.
You might have to take a detour.
Exactly.
Or two.
All right, so tactic number 4.
This one's about building resilient teams.
Resilient teams.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
It means having teams that can handle challenges. That can bounce back from setbacks.
And that can keep going.
Right.
When things get tough.
Because let's face it, things will get tough.
So how do you build that resilience?
Well, first, you need to give them the skills and resources they need.
Okay.
Training. Clear roles and responsibilities.
Okay.
The right tools.
But it's also about creating a supportive environment.
Right.
Where people feel safe.
Yes.
Asking for help.
Exactly.
So, they're not afraid to say, hey, I'm struggling here.
And to celebrate their wins together.
Yeah.
To acknowledge each other's accomplishments.
Okay, so final tactic.
And this ties back to user needs.
Okay.
It's about solving problems with a user-centric approach.
So it's all about the user.
In the end, it has to be.
Because if they're not happy,
then the project has failed.
yeah.
No matter how technically brilliant it is.
Yeah.
So how do you keep that focus on the user?
Yeah.
You make feedback an integral part of the process. You
Right.
do usability testing.
Yeah.
You gather user stories.
You're constantly checking in with them.
Exactly. It's an ongoing conversation.
Not just a one-time thing.
Right.
So I think what I'm hearing
Yeah.
is that IT project leadership,
It's not just about the technical stuff.
it's about the human side
It's about creating the right environment.
and fostering the right mindset
Totally.
within the team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this has been super insightful.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
I've already got like a million ideas
Us.
for how I can apply this to my own work.
I love it.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want to leave our listeners with a question
Yeah.
that 𝗀𝗺 asks at the end of his article.
Okay.
And it's this. What's one leadership tactic that you've seen work wonders
Interesting.
in overcoming
Yeah.
adoption challenges?
I like that.
So have you seen a leader
Yeah.
who really embodied these tactics
Yeah.
or a project where these principles
Mm-hmm.
made all the difference?
That's a good one.
Share your experiences,
Yeah.
your insights,
Yeah.
your leadership gems.
Right.
Because we're all in this together, right?
We are. We're all learning.
And your perspective could be just what someone needs.
Absolutely.
So that's it for this deep dive.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us,
Thanks, everyone.
and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.